How far would you go to strike fear into your opponents? In the ruthless world of the NFL, a few players didn't just play the game. They dominated it with sheer terror. Today, we're diving into the 10 scariest players to ever take the field. Ray Lewis wasn't just a linebacker. He was a force of nature who sent chills down the spines of his rivals before the first whistle even blew. Picture this: smoke and fire blazing as he emerged from the tunnel, channeling Maximus from Gladiator. His war cry echoed through the stadium, a promise of relentless hits and unbreakable will. Opponents knew exactly what was coming and dreaded the sight of number 52. His presence alone changed the atmosphere on the field. When the game started, Lewis delivered on that promise with bone-crushing tackles that became his trademark. Even those who tried to catch him off guard, like Bengals wide receiver Chad Uso, quickly learned that Lewis was unstoppable. Uso's blindside attempt failed miserably as Lewis leveled him without even looking. Beyond his ferocity, Lewis still holds the NFL record for most solo and combined tackles, proving his dominance wasn't just showmanship, it was relentless skill. Jack Tatum, known as the Assassin, earned his nickname for good reason. His hits were brutal and merciless, sometimes crossing lines others wouldn't dare. The most infamous moment came during a preseason game when a hit from Tatum left Patriots wide receiver Darryl Stingley paralyzed from the chest down. It wasn't just the severity that shocked people, but the fact it happened during a meaningless game, and that Tatum never apologized. Tatum's mindset was clear. A good hit meant leaving your opponent dazed and questioning reality. He famously said his best hits bordered on felony assault. Even years later, his collision with running back Earl Campbell haunted opponents and doctors alike, as Campbell suffered lasting spinal issues. Tatum's ruthless style left a permanent mark on NFL history, both physically and psychologically. Lawrence Taylor changed football forever with a single play. On a Monday Night Football game in 1985, Taylor crushed quarterback Joe Theismann with such force that it ended Theismann's career. That one hit wasn't just brutal, it shifted how teams approached protecting their quarterbacks, sparking the rise of the left tackle as a key position. But Taylor's impact went far beyond that infamous tackle. A 10-time Pro Bowler and multiple Defensive Player of the Year, he redefined what it meant to be a linebacker. Coaches like Bill Belichick praised his relentless aggression and fearlessness, calling him the best defensive player they'd ever coached. Taylor's disregard for his own body made him one of the most feared and effective defenders in NFL history. Dick Butkus was the embodiment of an animal on the field. His unique warm-up routine involved deliberately getting himself mad to fuel his aggressive play. Opponents feared and respected him in equal measure. Packers running back MacArthur Lane once said he'd rather face a grizzly bear than Butkus. Butkus didn't just intimidate, he dominated. His relentless hits and fearless style made him one of the most feared linebackers ever. His legacy is one of pure ferocity, setting a standard for defensive toughness that echoes through the NFL to this day. Jack Lambert, nicknamed Dracula in cleats, was the face of the legendary steel curtain defense. Missing his 4 upper front teeth, his toothless snarl matched the fierce intensity he brought every game. John Elway's first NFL encounter with Lambert left a lasting impression. Elway just wanted out as fast as possible. Lambert wasn't just scary, he was fiercely loyal and bold. In Super Bowl X, when Cowboys safety Cliff Harris taunted his kicker, Lambert responded with a brutal body slam. His teammates knew they could always count on him to back them up, and his fearless style helped lead the Steelers to 4 Super Bowl titles in 6 seasons. Dick Night Train Lane's journey to NFL stardom was anything but conventional. After just 1 junior college season and 4 years in the Army, Lane walked into the Rams office and asked for a tryout. His raw athleticism earned him a spot, and soon he was terrorizing opponents with tackles so violent the NFL had to change its rules. Lane became famous for his night train necktie tackles, grabbing opponents' face masks and slinging them to the ground. His ferocity led to bans on face mask tackles and clotheslines. Still, Lane holds the NFL record for most interceptions in a single season, achieved in just 12 games, proving he was as skilled as he was brutal. Jim Brown was an unstoppable offensive powerhouse who intimidated opponents even before kickoff. Known for his confident swagger and physical dominance, Brown led the league in rushing 8 of his 9 seasons and set records that still stand decades later. For Brown, football was a battle, and he bulldozed anyone who stood in his way. His famous warning to defenders was simple: make sure they remember the pain of tackling him. Few could stop the 232-pound, 6-foot 2-inch force he brought to the field every week. James Harrison's story is one of grit and determination. Cut 3 times as a rookie, Harrison refused to quit and rose to become one of the most feared tacklers in the league. His goal was clear: take opponents out of the game with hits that hurt but didn't aim to injure. His hits made headlines, even against friends on the field, and he remained strong well into his late 30s. Harrison's dedication to training and relentless spirit made him a true underdog turned legend in the NFL. Reggie White combined unbelievable strength with surprising speed. He could toss 320-pound linemen aside like they weighed nothing, moving with the agility of a linebacker. This rare blend made him virtually unblockable. White retired as the NFL's all-time sack leader, feared by opponents and respected by teammates alike. His explosive power and quickness helped redefine what it meant to dominate on defense. Earl Campbell was a human wrecking ball. Standing 5 feet 11 inches and weighing 244 pounds, he moved with the speed of much lighter players, bulldozing defenders with aggressive power and fierce determination. What truly set Earl Campbell apart was not just his size or speed, but his sheer relentlessness on every play. Defenders knew that when Campbell got the ball, he was coming straight at them like a freight train with no brakes. He didn't just run past defenders. He ran through them, shattering tackles and leaving a trail of broken opponents behind. His nickname, the Tyler Rose, reflected not only his Texas roots, but also the fiery intensity he carried every time he stepped on the field. Off the field, Campbell's toughness was equally legendary. He played through pain and injuries that would have sidelined most players, never complaining and always pushing himself to the limit. His durability was remarkable in a sport where bodies get battered every week. Even today, former teammates and rivals recall his work ethic and grit as something almost otherworldly, a true testament to what it means to be a warrior on the gridiron. Campbell's legendary collisions left lasting damage, and his toughness was unmatched. He missed only 6 games in his career. Known for his massive thighs and relentless running style, Campbell remains one of the toughest players to ever take the field. These players didn't just compete, they brought fear, strength, and relentless willpower that changed the NFL forever. Their legacies remind us how power and mental toughness can make legends. So, who do you think was the scariest player of all time? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the gridiron's fiercest warriors.